know how. I love it. Oh, my. He seems interested. If you're right that Lamar loves Tomlin,
I just can't see that. I don't know. Greg, could you actually see that happening?
I mean, it happens. It's hard to imagine it because of, obviously, the rivalry and them being two of the longest tenured coaches in our current history. Like, it would be odd, but it wouldn't be unparalleled because both of these franchises, when they have a guy, they're going to give him a long runway. And Mike Tomlin is very well respected. Obviously, he has the respect of the guys over in that Ravens locker room just because of the success he's been able to have. And Mike Tomlin is just that type of coach that across the league, players talk, and we all have players that we would love to play with, and then we all talk about coaches. Man, I would love to play with Tomlin just to see what it's like. Just because he's charismatic, he's a player's guy, but he has a standard of how he wants things to look, and he seems to get the best out of his guys. So, I mean, yeah, I know Brew would be excited.
But Flock Nation, baby. Get it done. Get it done.
I think Tomlin is taking the year off.
I assume he had 2 years on his contract that was going to pay him $50 million. He's been winning, so it's not like he was in a bad situation.
But this job is not going to, again, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. But the Baltimore job, whoever they hire could be there the next 12 years.
For sure.
So if I'm him and I love Lamar Jackson, and I imagine he still loves coaching football, he just knew it was time to get out of Pittsburgh, you might have to be like, that job, there's not going to be a better job.
Jump straight to
Baltimore. It would be strange.
And also, since the Steelers would have to okay it since he has the time left, that makes it tricky. The other thing Bisciotti said that I was actually and again, this is the soundbite I thought we were playing, but Bisciotti was asked if Tyler Luke made the field goal versus the Steelers, if Harbaugh would still be the head coach. And he responded, quote, for a week, end quote. Which means
tough one.
I know
that was after the Tomlin firing.
Yes, that was at the same press. It was later in that same press conference. Which again, this isn't the topic of the day, but there was a lot of what I thought curious reporting of like, yeah, Harbaugh was going to be back, and you know what I mean, all of it, and then it was like after a rash decision. Steve Bisciotti's like, to me, what that is saying is he had decided they needed to move on.
Super Bowl, or reach the Super Bowl.
It's almost as if a very, very good, powerful, maybe MVP caliber player on the team wanted a new head coach.
That's real.
It's almost like that.
Okay, well, this is really interesting because I want to know straight up. Baltimore Ravens fans, tell me right now, do you want Mike Tomlin as your head coach? Do you want Mike Tomlin as your head coach? Yes or no? Seriously, just straight up tell me. I just write yes, no in the comment section. Obviously, feel free to share all the other views you have, but like I want to see that. I want to know straight up, do you want Mike Tomlin as your head coach? I'm sure Lamar would love it, but does he elevate that defense? Will he elevate Lamar? Will he make better decisions in game? Will he help guide the Ravens and build better teams? Who will be the offensive coordinator for Lamar Jackson and the Raven? That's also newsflash, Ash. That's really important. And I know where people are going to throw around things like, oh, you can bring in Mike Tomlin and then hire McDaniel or you know what. And it's just like Cliff Kingsbury. And it's just like, again, those guys might be head coaches. It's so hard. I've said this in all these videos now where we're talking about coaches and coordinators. And it's just like, it's impossible to know who's getting a head coaching job and who's getting a coordinating job. Cliff Kingsbury could legitimately be the coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Like, we just have no idea. Or he can't get a head coaching job. Then he's going to have to be a coordinator. And then Cliff with McD with the Raven. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I will say that the Ravens need a strong leader. I would like that to be a strong offensive leader. But, I mean, I do think you get maybe just a little bit more of a charismatic version of Harbaugh with Tomlin in a lot of ways. And although I think Tomlin and Lamar will have a great relationship, I don't know if Mike Tomlin will hold Lamar accountable. And I feel as though it'll be more friendly than it should be. And you and even all the greats, Mahomes, Brady, whatever it is, their coaches need to hold them accountable. They need to have a firm relationship with them. And I don't believe that Mike Tom would have that with Lamar. I really don't. I think Tomlin would have this like unconditional support no matter what. And maybe he can work around that and reach Lamar in a way that potentially other coaches can't. But it's just like players do need to be held accountable no matter how amazing, no matter how great they are. Even Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, and just name every single quarterback. They all need to be held accountable by their coaches. And I'm not so sure that's the energy that first off, Harbaugh didn't do that to. I'm not so sure Tomlin does that. So it's just like the Raiders do. Excuse me. The Ravens do need like a culture reset here. They absolutely need. I mean, and they know it too. That's why they were playing games and removing the games, right? Like having all these weird reports inside the locker room, outside the locker room. Like they do need a shift here. They absolutely do. And is Mike Tomlin the guy that brings that? Is he the one that brings that? Is he the one that brings the solutions to the problems, both on the field and off the field? That ultimately becomes the question. I don't think that's going to happen because the way how the Ravens, I think the quote is from the Ravens owner. I think that's what they said, right? Yeah. Yeah. The owner, the way how he answered that question was, I feel like he sidestepped it where he's like, oh, wouldn't that be awesome? Only if John takes the Pittsburgh J. Like I think he was, I listen, I don't know how you answer that question in real time, but I mean, it was more of him like deflecting with like a bit of a joke more than anything else. So it's going to be really fascinating to see which direction the Ravens go in, that they go in. But they're in such a unique and fascinating spot because they need a leader, but they need to reset the culture. And they have Lamar Jackson, who is the Baltimore Ravens. And it's just different when you bring in a coach. If you're the Chicago Bears and you bring in a Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams was not the Chicago Bears. Ben Johnson is the Chicago Bears. That's what he was going there to change. Andy Reid already there. There was no Patrick Mahomes. And so it's just a really weird and interesting situation that the Ravens find them in. And it's not like there is this really clear snorts and obvious coach right now. And when you're going to be working with a Lamar Jackson, it's like you already know what that floor is, what that baseline is. It's just a different experience entirely than when you get hired. And it's like, hey, we got this second-year quarterback, or we're going to be drafting this quarterback. We want you to develop him and figure it out. We're going from nothing. Bring us to something. Like, that's not the case here. You're now trying to hire a coach to get you over the hump, to take you to that next level with a quarterback of Lamar Jackson. That could sound easy because like, oh, well, you're starting off with Lamar, and it's just like, it's not, especially if you're having a coach who's never either been a head coach in the NFL or who's been a coach, but he's been fired now. Like, these are still men trying to keep their jobs and get paid and whatnot and stick around. So it's just it's a tricky situation. It's a tricky situation. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Baltimore Ravens? Do you think they should hire Mike Tomlin? Bruce certainly wants it. That's for sure. Nick seems kind of not really wanting to give an answer, but let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here. And absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it, and please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much.